Wang Gang.
No.
Thank
That's just like our own personal.
When Priesty sent that thing the other morning, it was like, "You're welcome for the name, by the way." I'm like, I didn't like it.
No, that's just us fucking around.
Yeah.
We're technically live right now, aren't we?
We are.
Fantastic. Ready to get started?
And that is the story of how I got my left testicle stuck in Zarya's gun. Right?
Lit.
Fantastic.
Choice.
Welcome
Lit.
to the Orange Beanie Guy Discord podcast. We have a guest star with us today, Taz. Say hi, Taz.
Hi, I'm Taz!
He is our resident Lucio main. If you have Lucio questions, direct it to him. We also have our usual Fire. Fire, how's it going?
Hey guys, how you doing today?
And unfortunately, our boy Priesty's in jolly old England, so he will not be joining us this week, but we'll be back next week.
Traitor.
Hope you're having a good time, bud.
Yeah, I hope England's all it's cracked up to be. I can't think of anything that I'd really want to go to England for.
You should write
Really?
fucking Hallmark cards.
What about
Spyro.
the-
That was beautiful. Oh, it's
the
cracked
culture?
up to me. Wow.
I'm sorry. Well, but seriously though, there's not one thing in England. where
Oh
I'd be
shit,
like,
he's
yeah, I wanna
doubling
go.
down.
No, I am. But name
The-
one good thing in England. Sorry, people who live in England.
I don't know. More bars.
Exactly.
Have Guinness. More bars have
Exactly.
Guinness. That's exciting to me.
Well, I can buy Guinness here. That's
Yeah,
not
but not
good.
every bar you go to has Guinness.
I mean, yeah, but
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
This entire
I-
cast is
That's a
coming
good.
apart.
That's,
okay. Let's fuck.
I'm a big Guinness guy. If you didn't figure that one out yet.
Yeah, but like I could buy. Okay, never mind. We're going for
Listen,
some.
sometimes I just like to sit at a bar.
fight.
I just like to sit at a bar and drink a beer. And if I go to the bar and they don't have my favorite beer, now I'm not having a good time.
Then you have to do
Okay.
heroin, and then it's their fault.
Exactly.
Oh shit. Fair enough. Let's welcome. Oh
Well-
shit! I'm hearing the stream. Let's welcome our new members here.
Yes.
Welcome to the Orange Beanie Guy Discord. Eclipse, Matthew Lyle, and Polybus.
Polyphemus.
Polyphemus.
Is that right?
Damn it,
Polyphemus.
man.
Well, I'm so, I was so close. I got to
There's
the
a full
last one.
syllable in there you missed.
Spiral.
Well,
Real quick.
what? Yo,
Basically, Nova wants to know how you slice your bagels.
how I slice my bagels?
Yes.
Diagonally.
I buy them pre-sliced.
You uppity bitch.
Because I'm prepared. Boy Scouts, yeah,
wow.
there you go.
Must be fucking nice. Pre-sliced bagels.
What, being a Boy Scout?
Fine. Having some other probably small-handed person slice your bagel properly. It's probably a claw machine, isn't it? I don't think there's any hand slicers anymore.
Oh, Lord.
I didn't know you sliced bagels. Well, never mind that. U of L did that. Okay.
No,
Fuck-
what? You've
fuck
always
the-
just eaten whole ass bagels?
Yes! What's wrong with you? Like, okay, so, like, you take your spoon, you scoop the peanut butter, like, way too much peanut butter, and then you just glob it on that one area that you're gonna bite on the bagel, and you continue to do that until the bagel's gone, right?
You really are an animal.
No.
No, I'm not an animal.
No,
That's
you
how
cut
you eat
it.
a bagel.
And you spread the peanut butter or whatever you're using to eat it with,
okay.
and you
Yeah, with
spread
a
it.
knife or other utensil, like a grown-ass adult.
Yeah.
No, there's something caveman-esque that just like fires off my brain. I'm like,
Takes
this is
over
right.
your
This
body
is exactly-
when
that
you
takes
see a
over my body.
bagel.
That's the douchiest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
It-
You think eating a bagel whole is caveman?
Well, not like I mean, I'm not consciously being like, this is caveman. This is how they did it. Scooping their peanut butter with their big fucking caveman thumbs and
How do you think they got the
Christ.
circle out of the middle? Do you think they just threw that away? They probably ate that shit. And then why wouldn't they just put the peanut butter on the outside of the bread without removing the hole? Your
This
entire
is-
argument makes no sense.
It doesn't.
why we're
it
here and not
doesn't.
them.
It's 2v1 right now.
Okay, fuck the caveman. Fucking
Woo!
Taz, how's your
The
week in
fire just
Overwatch?
crammed on your ass. It was all right. I didn't get a chance to do any comp, but played around a little bit more. Suck ass at Anna. My Zen is complete garbage. I couldn't hit a shot. I think I ended the game with 8% accuracy.
Wow,
So
you're bad.
that's solid. But the Lucio shit's going good.
Of course.
Ended up winning a couple try-hard FFAs this week,
Ooh, nice.
which was
Any-
kind of cool.
Any big time
uh,
streamers in them?
No, not at all.
Rip.
I don't even. Yeah. Half the time that
Fair
ever happens, you just get brained before you even get the chance to hit a wall. So it doesn't even bad.
Well, I know that one time. Well, it was like the first time I did it with you, Jake popped in there for a short time. I was like, oh, maybe this is a frequent occurrence. But
Yeah, Jake's in
guess
there
not.
every once in a while. You see Bonnie in there every once in a while. Cavalry's in there all the time. There's a couple of them that show up every once in a while, but it's so unbelievable. It's actually kind of fun to see how much better they are than us, and that's kind of why they get paid for it.
I don't know about that. I don't like being shit on too much.
I do.
mean-
Something about it gets me going. Hi,
No.
Priesty!
Oh, Priesty, what's up? From Jolly
What
Old
about
England.
you? What about you, Fire? You know what? Spiral's been talking too much. What about you, Fire? How was your week in Overwatch?
Guess
Well,
I'll fuck myself.
My week in Overwatch went okay. I've started trying to pick up Zen because just one game I decided to try him out, and I just dinked heads left and don't ask me fucking how, but I was dinking heads left and right, and I was like, what the fuck? This is lit. I have gold fucking damage and healing and everything else. What is happening? And I just like went to town. I had divas running away from me, and I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna pick up Zen now.
Ooh.
Spontaneous thought for a Smurf account: Dinks McGee. Yes? No?
Yes.
Dinks McGee?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yes.
Dinks McGee. I kind of like Dinks McGee.
So
You gonna change the name of your Smurf?
I am now going on a journey of harmony with Zen, killing
There you go.
people with him. So, that's very
Sounds
harmonious.
sexy.
And
Fire-
if anybody was on it, what?
I was gonna say, quick question. Who actually is your main? Like, I always thought it was Lucio, but I don't think I've ever got it pinned down.
Moira's honestly who I've spent hundreds of hours on console.
Okay.
So, like, but
All right.
I've literally spent hundreds of hours of time on her. I'm fucking tired of her. I'm ready to put that kind of time into somebody else and learn them
You guys hear that
as.
shit? That was dope.
Oh yeah. I kind of want to throw that kind of time at somebody else and just learn
hear
them
ya.
as intricately as I know Moira, and then just kind of step by step. But I've just been having a hard time picking somebody. There's so many fun people to play.
I mean, I'm hopping on Taz's train. He's always said Lucio's the most fun character, and
He is.
he
He's
really
so
is.
fucking
He is.
fun, dude.
He's so fun.
He
He's
is.
a blast to learn.
And
He's not good with them, but he's fun.
The reason why I started playing him in the first place was because I couldn't hit shit. Like, I couldn't hit a shot with any character in the game.
yeah,
Let
Yeah.
alone a 4-round burst character. But it gave you the option to just, instead of actually hitting stuff, being difficult to hit.
yeah,
And then you could actually contribute to your team
right.
by not shooting, but by just being around your
present.
team.
He
And then
is.
as you slowly start to learn how to wall ride and get harder to hit, and then you start to learn how to aim, and that's when the climbing starts.
Yeah, it's Lucio's super fun to play. He can be difficult to control at times until you get the hang of it, but frankly, yeah, I agree. I completely agree with
Those
that.
those try hard free for alls really help with his play.
Oh my god, yeah, dude.
Well,
They're
that's what
fucking
everyone always
insane.
yells at you for playing Lucio or any other character in those kind of settings, and there's a couple that are dick moves to play.
Yeah.
But the reason why I like playing the tryhard FFAs with Lucio is because you never get the chance to 1v1 a DPS in an actual game unless you're frontline feeding.
Yeah.
And then your entire team's yelling at you for that. But when you're playing a tryhard FFA, you have 11 other people that are all are proud of their DPS play, otherwise they wouldn't be in there.
Right.
And you're playing and kind of learning how to compete with other DPSs in one-on-one circumstances. And then sometimes you just kind of turn around and then a Widow brains you, and then you got to start on the other side of the map.
Yeah.
That's fair. Do you ever dive widows often in, let's say, a competitive format?
Yeah.
Just curious. How often would you say you dive the widows?
There's I don't know. That's a tough one because Widow is one of the easier 1v1s for Lucios to handle, especially in
Yeah.
ISR,
Oh yeah.
because Widows can't consistently just hit headshots on you, and as long as you kind of get a good position on them, you can kind of kite behind different objects and heal yourself up if they do happen to hit you. And if not, you're forcing them to go from their scope mode to their SMG mode, and people transitioning from that sharp of a change usually isn't a very good idea. So Widow is one of the 1v1s I actually don't mind taking. The problem is, in order to get to a Widow, you have to go all the way past their entire team and leave
Yeah.
your team alone, and
Yeah.
that normally is what gets you reported as a Lucio.
I suppose that's fair. But not the Reddit Lucios. Not SK.
Yeah.
Well, SK hits shots. SK ends every game like
Yeah.
50% accuracy. That's a completely different tier. That's people that are exceptions. That's like saying that every trace you're going to play with is going to be Sabiolbi. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
not the same
Fair,
deal.
fair enough. I'll quickly wrap up with my quick week in Overwatch. I've been getting a lot of shit from my teammates in the Discord for playing Reinhardt on maps like Well and Sanctum and all the maps that Reinhardt probably shouldn't be played on. So recently, I've been dabbling into the other two main tanks, mostly Orisa, Winston. I think those are the only other. I guess you can consider Hammond a main
No.
tank. Okay, fair enough. He just got stupid health, but focusing more so on Orisa and Winston. Winston, it's been a lot of trying to hit those flying melees while following up and ending, I guess, killing the character with a melee, rather than just holding mouse 1 and waiting until they trickle out. And as for Orisa, my pulls are god awful, and Lord knows I need to work on them, especially when it comes to trying to yank people off the maps. I do not have any sort of sense of when to let go for that. So I figure, if I want to be a competent main tank player rather than being a Reinhardt player, I need to start investing time into these boys.
It's a good idea.
But fuck,
And,
fuck the off tanks. I just want to stick with main tank. I really enjoy that role.
real quick side note, one thing I did learn when going up against the Winston with Zenyatta is that, or any support or small frame character, whatever, when Winston dives you, if you just do like a little b-hop right before he lands while you're strafing like backwards, if you're midair when he lands, that extra
Does that negate the
momentum will
damage?
send you farther.
Oh.
Will send you farther out of the way and almost out of range of his Tesla gun.
I was gonna
So
say. I
if
thought you were gonna
can
say that
just-
if you jump, you can actually avoid the slam damage that he emits whenever he hits the ground. But that's also. I think I have seen people do that before, but I always thought that was just people being, lucky.
Yeah,
or fortunate.
that's what I thought
Good little tip.
until I just figured that the fuck out the other day.
I also figured
So-
out that Winston, I think I said it in the last podcast, Winston has a B hop just like Reinhardt does at the
Yeah.
end of his charge.
Yep.
I never did it, but it's wonderful. I love it.
Hell yeah,
I've
dude.
started doing it now.
It's one of the first times I ever saw Jane was that little tip of video. He goes, if you hold space at the end, you land at the edge of your bubble if you drop immediately on the end whenever you hit the ground. Let's see. What's our next thing?
Oh, I'm gonna fucking sneeze.
Are we going to talk about the
I'm
skin
trying to
thing?
find
That's actually one I've been really excited about.
the skin thing.
Yeah,
What
are we going
skin
to talk
thing?
about the favorite skins? Favorite skins in the game?
Oh yeah, well
Wait.
yeah, we gotta.
Did I jump?
We still
I
gotta
jumped.
do.
I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah, we still gotta
No,
do
it's
Taz's questions.
Oh,
No.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
We-
so
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What?
Look, this Taz guy sucks. We could probably just move past those parts.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Whatever.
Fuck it.
Let's go on to the nitty gritty and get into some of these recent patch notes. Also, if anyone has any questions in regards to what we say, feel free to post it in the chat and we'll pause and answer it so long as it's not stupid. There we go.
I like
We'll go
stupid
with
questions. Post stupid questions.
that.
He does. He really does
All
love
right.
stupid questions.
This week we're gonna do a little bit of talking about how to climb for those of you that are in the lower tier or hell mid tier and are trying to figure out those ways to really grind out the SR. We got a couple of tips and tricks here that we thought we'd share with y'all and see if that could help you all. First off, feel free to jump in anytime here, guys. I wanted to talk about collecting information, and there's 3 stages of this.
Mhm.
There's a pre-fight, during fight, and post-fight. Pre-fight, this only applies to escort, assault, and hybrid maps. Basically, if you're setting up waiting for the enemy to come out and attack you, I'd take those high mobility characters. Lucio's typically the go-to. You could say maybe Soldier, Winston, Diva, and
Mhm.
run to that enemy spawn. Get on the side where they can't see you and listen. Don't move, listen. You'll be able to hear all their characters talk, and you can collect that information. Say like, hey, these guys are running goats. They have Orion Zarya. Any bit of information can help, because that's gonna let you.
And if you're
Figure
Lucio
out-
standing right outside, you just have to obey completely or guess completely by footsteps. So
That too.
maybe something more like the Hanzo and other ideas there. But if you're Lucio, you're 95% of the time you're still just going to be guessing based off footsteps or the rare chance they kind of clip through a wall whenever they're swinging a hammer.
Mhm.
Reinhardt.
But more importantly, if you are that Lucio, that information needs to be shared with your team. And I've noticed as of recently, I actually played a couple lower tier games with a friend who had multiple accounts. And I
Mm-hmm.
noticed one of the things was a sense of a lack of communication and a sense of, hey, look at my medals. And first thing I'd like to say is, me- I don't want to say medals matter, but and I hear it a lot from Moira, so I'm going to point at you, Moira mains.
Mm-hmm.
Medals don't matter. It's a team effort. If you have all the medals, that doesn't mean you're going to win. For the perfect example I can think of is we were on Anubis and essentially we're doing a bunker comp, and this Moira was like, I got all golds, and we're like, hey, it'd be awesome if you could go Mercy because we might need a res because if they get one tick on this next point, we're done. And it came down to, it was just like, hey, can you switch to Mercy? He's like, well, I got all golds, and it's like, well, the res
You
would
suck.
really come in here. I mean, basically, he's like, no, fuck you. I got all the golds. That's what really matters.
There
And
are certain
ultimately,
situations where
Oh,
golds
yeah.
are applicable, and when
yeah,
if you're still playing with the team and trying to make a team effort, and you're looking down and you're trying to find out if you're the problem, and you're say a damage dealer, and you happen to have gold damage and gold kills, then fine. The gold medals might be a fair thing to point out whenever you're arguing, but if you're playing specifically to get medals,
you're doing it wrong.
Yeah,
yeah, it
that's
sucks.
not at all the way you want to be playing the game.
And if you really want to trigger your teammates and hinder your chances of winning, fucking bring up what medals you have. Tell people your elims. That's you don't want to
It doesn't
trigger your team.
matter.
You
That
want to
being
stick.
said, any circumstance, even if we get fucking wiped, 5 gold medals is still a little impressive. I'll give it. I'll
Okay,
throw it a little uptick. I'll throw it
okay,
one.
fair enough.
Wink at
Fair
him.
enough.
Hey,
Besides that,
I see
we'll
you.
move into during the fight. A lot of things that I do personally is checking tab. And when I'm checking tab, I'm not holding it. I'm not like stopping and staring at the screen. You're checking it during, I guess, a lack of fight. If a fight just happened and you're running back to the point or you're waiting for the enemy attack to you, click tab, look at the alts. What can you combine with? Did they make any switches? If they did make switches, relay that to your team. If you have possible ults for a fight, say like, hey, Zarya, Hanzo, we got a combination. Let's see if we can get this set up. Be sure that the diva uses her defense matrix before you do this. Just just communication, and that's like the biggest thing
Mm-hmm.
in this climbing tutorial, if you will, is you gotta talk to your teammates. That is like the thing that is losing the matches, at least in my personal opinion. Taz, Fire, do you have any 2 cents on that?
If we're still talking about present
Just
fight, was that your last? That was the last point,
yeah,
correct?
present fight.
Present fight, know your 1v1s. That's the easiest thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Know who your character beats in 1v1 situations. And when you kind of acknowledge that, force it. Put your team in a
Mhm.
position where you have the option to fight with your team. So specifically, the one that I'm thinking of off the top of my head is maybe it's different at higher ranks, but up at mid plat, high plat, whatever, it's diva for me. If I'm playing Lucio, there's no situation where a diva should be able to kill me because even if she does charge me with rockets, I should be able to change my position vertically
Yeah.
to keep her from killing me. So if
Mhm.
she's diving, I'm constantly peeling for the widow or I'm trying to peel for support. Because if she dives, that's a 1v1 that she has no more jetpack, and I can force that 1v1. I can demech her at the very least.
Oh,
Mhm.
absolutely. Um, good thing mid fight with relaying information to your team. Um, make sure you're relaying critical information and you're not just cluttering
Yeah.
comms. Critical information being like, hey, Ryan's looking for a shatter. Critical information being May no ice block, Reaper no wraith,
Yeah.
things like that. Ana no sleep, Diva
And that
no matrix. Those are huge call outs that you want to make because those are now things that enable your teammates to make those big plays that they've been looking for.
and I'd argue to say saying that thing 2 or 3 times is like the limit. You don't need to spam it until that person's dead. Like 2 to 3 times and you're good to go on that. You've made the call out, now it's up to your team and you to react upon that.
Uh, I, I don't know about your elo, but my elo, you have to just keep saying it until it gets done because otherwise it does not get done. So everybody
That-
just expects everybody else to turn around and take care of the problem, even though, this person's already been like designated to take care. Even
yeah.
if someone like, hey, look, if this happens, make sure you peel, and then they
Yeah.
don't peel because they're not listening for the call out. So granted, you guys are 2, 3 elos higher, I believe.
Mhm.
I think so. Somewhere
Yeah,
in there.
yeah, definitely. I feel like the game sense and actually listening to callouts is a big part of what gets people up there. So,
And that being said, I'm gonna throw a quick 2 cents on for main tank players. This is more so for Reinhardt, just because he's what I play a lot. I've noticed quite a few times when I was playing in the lower bracket that if someone's running past that Reinhardt, the enemy Reinhardt, let's say a Diva, a Lucio, something jumps past him, he would immediately swivel and put his focus on the person that got past him. That is a massive, massive no no. You got 5 other people behind you that are able to take care of that. Your primary focus is the girth of the team that is in front of you because, let's
Yep.
say, potentially, they
Can
have.
we not call it the
Mhm.
girth of the team?
The oh, okay, Taz, better word. What
Front.
you got? Okay.
What you got?
the,
What you got?
the rest of the team is there. So if you swivel iron as a Reinhardt, you can get shattered. You can get stunned. Also, your shield's not up, so they're just gonna burn you down and then roll right through you. And at least with the current meta, unless it changes with Baptiste just now entering competitive, I don't know. 9 times out of 10, if a Reinhardt dies in that comp, let's say it's goats, you're gonna lose that match.
Let's just say.
Let's just say you're fucked.
Let's go out on a limb here and just say that we're gonna pick goats.
I was trying to be nice about it. I didn't want to feed my own ego as a Rhine player.
So, if you guys were not aware, just a nifty little piece of information. If you were not aware, um, the statistics for like the number of team fights lost when Zarya is the first one to die is almost like every fucking time. If your
Oof.
Zarya dies first, good fucking luck. In a goats matchup.
Boom, Spiral. Statistically, suck it.
Fuck you, Reinhardt's the best.
But that's
I can
only
see- I
that's
can
if
see
she
this
dies
though.
first, then you're almost guaranteed that L.
I can see that though. The Zarya is used for a lot of initiation, and she kind of covers the Ryan's ass if the Ryan happens to. I don't know.
She's
charge
a
right
lot
into
of
the
the
enemy.
damage. She's a lot of
That
the
felt
damage.
like it
in
was
goats.
pointed at me.
No,
That felt like that was directed at a little bit of a excited Reinhardt. I like to get in there sometimes, just tussle around.
Hey, he
But
likes
not
to get in
fun.
there and scrap with the little guys. You know.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
a couple of guys messing around.
But to wrap it up, for the post fight, if something needs to be changed, be willing to change. Partially the reason why I'm trying other main tanks is,
Mhm.
Reinhardt really isn't the best character in a lot of situations, and the same goes for all the characters in this game. It needs to be synergized. You need to be on the same level with your team and
Mhm.
willing to make the switch if it's necessary. Now, if you just got, a salty teammate over a certain situation, there's not much you can do about that. But if you genuinely think you want to win the game, be able to be flexible with your
Mhm.
team.
That is.
And I think that's all I have for that segment. So, yeah, there you go.
The post fight is a really great time to start doing what we will talk about in our next section.
Flaming
But it's-
teammates.
Absolutely, you're right. Post fight's a really great time to start coordinating ultimates, seeing where you're at for ult charge. If you've been ultimate tracking on the enemy, it's a great time to, hey, look, Zarya definitely has grab, and Hanzo definitely has dragon. They're gonna try to Johnny Grab Dragon us, and they're.
I've
So
never
what
heard
are
that
we gonna
before.
do about
Johnny
it?
Grab Dragon? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's gonna be my porn name one day.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna Urban Dictionary this real quick. I think this has a double meaning. Hold on.
Love
And
it.
so it's a good time. Like, hey, look, they're about to like start throwing ults at us. They have this and this for sure. What are we gonna do about it? And that's a great time to start. Like, okay, if they throw throw that at us, Zen, you ult while we're in the grab. Lucio beat to get out of it, and then we target. we jump the closest support we see or some shit. I
Yeah.
don't fucking know. It's whatever you want to set up as a team. It's a great time. You have a minute to set that up. Then you have a better idea of how to win that next fight,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a huge advantage.
For those
And a big-
interested, Johnny Grab Dragon is actually just a alternate term for masturbation. So
Is
go
it
find
really?
out.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's why it's gonna be. Yeah.
Well, I did type in Johnny Grab Dragon, and then Google's like, "Did you mean Johnny Grab Dragon?" I was like, "I guess," and I clicked on it, and hey, it's there, man. I'm not gonna deny
Close
it. My
Close
fucking
enough.
asshole.
Fire, you want to take us into our next segment?
Sure.
Cool.
So, yeah, just to wrap that up, just relay information. Super, super important. The whole game. Use your comms. Comms win games, guys.
Do it!
Holy shit.
Nerds,
alright.
fucking just talk. It's so easy. Just join voice chat and communicate. The
Even
littlest
if you-
bit helps. Even if you don't talk, just listen.
Yeah, exactly. Even if you don't have a fucking microphone, just sit there and listen. You'll hear call-outs. People make call-outs. I make call-outs to a team with no mics all the fucking time just to keep myself in the habit of making call-outs.
And if
But-
you're a child, don't be afraid. I'm a nice guy. I'm not gonna shit on you for your child voice. I know that's
This is
Oh,
starting
yeah,
to sound
okay.
really creepy. Move on. This
But
is
no,
really-
no, it's fine. You can be
Come
in the
on,
voice
kids, I'm
chat.
a nice guy. I have ice cream.
No, I didn't say anything about ice cream. I'm just saying
Oh, my lord.
we can be cool. We can be cool. Everything's fine. We're all here playing Overwatch together. I can't speak for
We can
everyone
have
else.
fun.
I will be cool with you.
What a
Find
cool
me.
thing to
My
say.
name
You're
is
so fucking
Spiral.
cool, dude.
All right. Anyway, moving on to our next
Fire, how do you deal
section.
with this guy, man?
I don't know.
Come on, man. Tell me this, man.
I have to corral.
Oh, my heart. All right, take us
So our next section is still in the same context. We're talking about the race to ultimates. So in addition to team fights, there's a huge macro game that's going on with map control and ultimate economy. So Overwatch is at this point is just like a race to get who can get their ultimates the fastest and then who can hold on to it the longest.
and use it correctly.
Right, exactly, and that's what we're here to talk about. So first of all is just building. First thing is just building your ultimate. Just who are you shooting at? What are you aiming for? What are you looking for if you're looking for ult charge? So say you're looking for ult charge, like Spiral knows, fucking throw Fire Strike right at the door, right when the game
My
starts.
man.
Throw that Fire Strike. You get like what, 10%?
Yeah,
or
and
some
if you
shit?
don't mind me, it should be like 7 to 6, depending on. I
Per,
don't know, I've
right?
just seen it bounce to 76. That being said, if you don't mind me jumping in,
No, not at all.
for Reinhardt's out there, always use that Fire Strike. As soon as it gets off cooldown, be looking to use that because you're trying to build your shatter as quick as possible, and that Fire Strike can go through multiple people,
Absolutely.
allowing you to get your ult crazy quick.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
continue.
can-
I'm sorry.
You can get a lot of ult charge if you can hit like 3-4 people with that Fire Strike. It's nuts.
And you can do that as they walk out of the door
But exactly.
before the first choke.
Exactly. It's beautiful. Like Zenyatta, I learned start charging right click 3.5, and then loose it at the door when they open. And if you with a good crosshair placement, you can just take one out right off the bat, full kill.
Oh yeah.
And well, that's like 15-20% ult charge right there. Boom.
The other one that I kind of touched on a little bit earlier. Know who you can do the most damage on in any fight. And in most cases, this is going to be a shieldless tank. I mean,
Yes.
if you see a diva around you and you desperately need 30% ult charge, don't look at anyone else for the next 10 seconds.
Just
Just
W mouse one that bitch.
constantly spam big bodies, get damage wherever you can. Never stop firing if you need ult charge.
Yeah.
And try and build it as fast as you possibly can. That is the fastest way you can build ult charge is by doing damage.
Environmental
dude.
kills are also a great way to get big ult charge. Taz, being our resident Lucio, should know that. And if you, I don't know if you've ever done this, but if you've booped, say a Reinhardt, say just a high health tank, who also has beat, if you've ever booped one of them, you get significantly more in charge.
Well, that's also a situation. The only time that Lucio is truly in,
Now,
he cannot recover, is when he's dropping beat. And if he is dropping beat, that means he's airborne, which means he is susceptible to being knocked back.
yeah,
So if you ever see a Lucio trying to drop beat from a high altitude or from on top of the cart, keep him in the air as long as possible. Because in a situation like that, either if you're near an environmental spot, give your Lucio or your Ball or your Farah a chance to knock them backwards, or keep him up in the air long enough that you might actually cancel his ult, because you still are dealing with a 200 HP character until he touches that ground. And when he touches the ground, you can recover your entire health pool in that
yeah.
one little bit of time. So you have to kind of be cautious, especially in delay type scenarios as well. If he's dropping his beat, you're dealing with almost another full 2 HP unless you're damaging him constantly throughout that.
All right. So those are
Okay.
just a few examples of things you can do to help build your ultimate. Now, just exactly like Taz says, find a tank that has no shield, find anybody out of position, not behind shield, not behind cover, and just mouse one. Just spam them. Fight for every little bit of ult charge, because the faster you can get it, the faster you can use it, and then you can start building to another one faster, which is, it's exactly what you want to do. Now, after your initial build, you can also, after your initial ultimate build, you can also use your ultimate to help your teammates build theirs. Now, say that, I don't know, Genji has Dragon and or Genji has Blade, and Reinhardt has Hammer, and Zarya has Grab, right? Now, you could say Zarya grabs, then both Ryan and Genji go ham on everybody stuck in the grab. Or you can grab, and Ryan can just swing his hammer a fuck ton of times and do nothing about it. Or you can just waste, well, not quote unquote waste. You can use hammer first, you can use blade first, and then you can use grab to help your Genji and your Reinhardt build their ultimate back up again for the next team fight.
Well, one important thing to kind of know going into that is you have to know which ult built up the quickest, because if you do end up grabbing and then you shatter and then you blade, you're going to have 3 characters with 0% ult charge, and your Zarya is going to take 2 full team fights, best case scenario.
So that's
why you have to know that Ryan has a very Fire. Ryan has a very quick ult charge, and you can build ult charge very quickly with that character. Genji's probably second, and Zarya's third, so you may want to try and shatter and then clean up as much as you can, and if you need to after that point, then start investing some of your heavier ults. But knowing which ults are built quickest is important as far as knowing when to use each ult.
Well, my point was a lot of people would use the grab and then use a Ryan and a Genji. But what I'm saying is use the hammer before the grab, use the blade before the grab, and use each of those to win whatever team fights. And then you can use grab to let your Genji and your Reinhardt build back up their ultimates.
And honestly, it doesn't even need to be in that order. If you're communicating with your team, being like, yo, grab blade or shatter blade, just make sure it's known that in this next fight, these are the ults we're using, and we're going to save them even if we lose the fight.
Right. Also, make sure you. Well, all right. We're actually moving on to timing, which is perfect because that's our next thing of timing of when you want to press Q and like waiting out the enemy and things like that. There's so many. So we can sit here and give you examples and exceptions and addendums for literally days on the different number of scenarios you can be in Overwatch that apply to just one character. So, like, not everything we say is set in stone. Please understand that every time you're using your ultimate, it's situational. But
and on top of that, sometimes we're wrong.
Yes,
yeah, that too.
But just in general, nothing in Overwatch is set in stone. It's a situational game. It changes every time because even if you're playing with new people, you're not going to stand in the exact same spot at the exact same time as the last game. So it's all different. Regardless, when to press Q, it's It's hard to get a feel for it at first if you're new to the game. The longer you play, the more of an idea you have for what ultimate and what situation works out. Um,
Communication.
Communication, absolutely. Communication is a huge thing for it. What I like to look for is what is going to get the most value. Like, how is, if I use it here, will I regret it in 3 seconds? You know what I mean? Is my team, is this a winnable fight? Do I need to use this? If I do need to use this, who do I need to use it on? So on and so forth. There are a lot of things.
A general rule that I like to follow regarding that is if you're one of 3 or fewer players alive for your team, there's no situation where you can really rationally
Absolutely.
confirm a goat and or an
Absolutely.
ult. It's unless you're in a situation where you have the best Genji on the earth and you have an Ana who's in perfect position and you have a Zarya who's full charge and still has both her bubbles, then you can kind of try and work something
Yep.
out. But that situation where you're going to be able to win a 3v, let's
6,
say 4+
5,
team fight
yeah.
is going to be very minimal. So
Yeah.
if you have less than 3 people alive, unless you're trying to stall for longer time or try and get one more inch of push on the cart by pushing someone off, there's no real reason to ult unless it's 0 seconds on the clock.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And just waiting out the enemy, it's a huge thing is being able to wait out enemy ultimates. If you guys are like matched up ult for ult, like both Lucios have beat, both Zens have trance, being the second one to beat or trance is usually a good thing. I did also just learn new statistics about Lucio beats and fight wins, but aside from the point, um, if you are aggressive with your ultimates before your enemy can build theirs up, now you're ahead in the ultimate charge game. Now it's. I'm going off track. Anyway, moving on.
You actually kind of mentioned something there with the, and this kind of leads into the next thing, which was placement.
There's just so much. Yeah, there's just so much to talk about. I can go on for so long. Yeah.
The
Move
one
me
thing
along.
that people just kind of instinctively have a tendency to do is whenever there's any kind of support ultimate that's released, you're going to have a natural kind of grouping up of characters to either benefit from the support ultimate or to get into range where the support ultimate can connect with them. So in situations like that, you kind of have to build your awareness of where everyone else is on the map and use that to kind of use as an opportunity to group up characters for bigger ults like bombs and for grabs and shatters and all the like. You're using that opportunity on the other team wasting an ult to also kind of group up where the other team is.
Mm-hmm. And for Lucio, you get to see how many people are around you for that group up. Tells you
Sometimes.
right there to
Yes.
spot 'em.
Yes.
Sometimes when I'm focusing, I don't realize that number's up there until halfway through the game, which is probably why I have such shitty healing.
Hell yeah.
Fair enough.
So yeah, placement's a huge thing. I know when you start looking at higher tier plays, you see Zarya grabs start going higher and higher in the air. That's just one thing I noticed just watching games.
Well,
It was
in some
kinda interesting.
cases it does, but if in some other cases that also gives their diva or Genji an opportunity to kind of reflect that. But there is kind of the surprise factor of shooting an ult higher or trying to use it to maybe snag a Pharah or position them higher up in the air so that they're more susceptible
Yeah.
to a diva bomb.
Well, I'm not
But
talking
in general,
like blasting her up in the air. I just
I thought you were
mean,
talking about like vertical, like
no,
binge,
I'm not talking
which,
like yeet
by the
that
way, is my
shit
favorite.
right up in the air.
That's my favorite play in Overwatch. Whenever Zarya just shoots her grab right directly up into the air and it ends up getting like 4 or 5 people into it.
That's mad funny. No, I don't mean just yeeting it straight up. I mean, instead of seeing it on the ground, you start seeing it like at the top of archways and like really weird spots, and that's because they understand that if you can grab them above the ground, you can go underneath Reinhardt's shield,
Yeah.
or up or like to the side. You have so much more different angles of attack.
Spiral, can you confirm that for me? I actually, or Fire, if you played the Reinhardt, is it possible to actually shield just directly below you? If you are grabbed high enough in the air, can you just can you shield like directly below you?
I
Vertically
believe
down 90 degrees.
I think
in my tier, I
can.
personally haven't had
In that situation, I mean, that's if you grab up in the air at a corner or at a higher point, like Fire's saying, that offers you a window where even if they do have a Reinhardt shield, if you have bubbles, or you have some way of protecting yourself, you can run directly beneath the grabbed characters and just
Yeah.
shoot upwards with no shield of opposition.
And
And
I do believe he can, but
you
at
can
the
block
same
downward,
time,
but in a
if-
grav, in some certain situations, you might not be able to block everybody, and that's going to require you to
that's-
tilt your or shield in a certain angle
Right.
to try to cover the most amount of people.
Right.
Realistically, if you're being shot from the bottom, you're probably going to get a couple people killed because they're not going to be standing directly underneath you. They're going to be rotating around.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna have more than one person rotating, finding the best angle to get that burst damage in there.
Yeah.
Until you
Sliding
drop
that
back
finger
to
in.
the ground. Plus, then you're just stuck in your descent coming back to the ground, and you still can't really move out of the way yet. So it just adds a little extra time to throw some damage at you. But it's
One other placement aspect is kind of important, and it's important for multiple characters. I'm not going to get into the whole placement of
Mhm.
the Diva Bomb and the positioning on that because I've never played that character. I don't know anything about that. But as far as Lucio ulting, and this is something that's kind of hard to get out of, especially if you play video games like I do and are only interested in having shit look cool. Don't try and beat from high points. It looks awesome when you go down spinning and you're trying to do 360-degree shots, or so you can't get headshot, and then you hit the ground in the nick of time and you save your entire team. That looks fine.
Yeah.
But grab is or beat is I don't know why I keep saying grab. Beat as close to the ground as possible. If you're in a position where you can actually beat on low ground and get up a step or two, or beat
On
from
higher
the
ground?
onto the cart,
Yeah.
then do that. Try and get your beat down as
It
quick as
cancels
possible.
the animation and casts it much faster. It's dope.
Because the number of times that you will get accidentally shot out of beat, or you
Uh-huh.
will get caught in a bad position, or a brig will happen to stun, or a McCree will throw a flashbang and you'll get stunned out of beat without them even intending to, is too high for me to count.
Okay.
It's happened so many
So-
times.
Anyway, in placement, try and use your ultimate to get value. Whether it's kills, whether it's zoning, there's different ways to use different ultimates. Just make sure you're creating value, whether it be separating healers from your team with a dragon, or grabbing your Reinhardt up in the air. Just make sure you're getting some kind of good value out of it. Also, make sure you're looking for synergies, people that you can combo with. Like I said earlier, Zarya and Hanzo combo really well together. Johnny Grab Dragons. And
I know what that means.
everybody does now. Just make sure, like we said earlier, communication is important. Talk to your team. If you hit tab and you see somebody else on your team has an ultimate that would go really well with yours, talk to them. Say, hey man, hold on to that. Let's use that together. Let's wait for a good time where we can both pop our ultimates and get really good value out of it.
If there literally could be anything that you take from this, is communication. That's all. Like, all these things we're telling you, you need to talk to your team.
Yes, and then
Even if they suck.
oh
Even
god,
if they
yeah.
blow.
Not even game-wise. Even if they're just douchebags.
Yeah.
True.
And then next is follow-up. You want to make sure you follow up these ultimates like Graviton Surge with damage, or EMP with damage. If you're playing Sombra and you EMP and there's only like 2 people on your team that can like kind of poke at the 6 people you just EMP'd, that you're not going to get a lot of value out of it. Wait for your whole team to be set up. Wait for the poke phase, and then communicate with your team. Hey guys, I know we're still doing poke damage right now, but I'm about to EMP the shit out of them. Get ready to move forward. And then you wipe the fucking team.
Reinhardt's, unless they're not all directly in front of you, don't try to shatter and get a team wipe. It doesn't work out.
Yeah, it does not.
99% of the time. But that 1% of the time that it does.
No.
But that 1% of the time, you shut your mouth. That 1% of the time it
No,
does.
it doesn't work out.
God, it's going to look great.
Sucks.
And then you're going to put it in your Reinhardt highlight that took you like way too long to make, and it's going to be great.
You know,
And
the
then-
exact highlight you're talking about is one we were all there for, though.
Oh god. And then
Shut your
also,
mouth.
also, I do want to say, make sure, along with having your team there to follow up with damage or to clean up, follow up cleanup, because you might be able to get a pick or two with your ultimate, but when it's over, if your team's not there to help you clean up and you're still outnumbered, well, get fucked.
It's just
Um,
feeding.
So
Yep.
exactly. So make sure you take the created space from that ultimate. Make sure you tell your teammates to push up. Like when I see a dragon come across a map from Hanzo, I walk with it. I'm inside of it. I'm walking like that's free push for me. You know what I mean? Like nobody can stand in front of me on the other team, otherwise they're gonna get a dragon in their face.
Good
So
boy.
make sure you, as a team, take advantage of the space that has been created by an ultimate usage, so that you now have a better advantage.
Hell yeah.
Boom
And-
shakalaka.
Fucking do that shit, you idiots.
Think
And
about
then-
Sorry, I
that
didn't
guy.
mean to call our viewers idiots. It's just really simple, and do it.
And then
Just
just
Harold
last
still
but
does this sometimes too.
Shut the fuck up, Dad!
and then last but
Let's
not
not bring-
least, ultimate tracking. I just want to move us along. We're running pretty long here tonight.
Yeah, we are.
So ultimate tracking is. I'll talk to you about that later. Um, Alt tracking is huge to help you win games because, like we talked about earlier, in the post fight, you can talk about, hey, I know for a fact Zarya has Grav, Junkrat has Tire, Sombra has EMP. Like, this bitch is gonna try and EMP all of us. Zenyatta, why don't you play back a lot farther so that when she EMPs, you come in with Trance and save our asses? Cool.
Reinhardt's, I'd say, stay on high alert most times because we build our ults crazy, crazy fast. And you may think that enemy Reinhardt is no way he's firestruck all the players behind me, but
He has.
he can sneak up.
He
Yeah,
has.
but he has, and he'll sneak up on you. And then when he shatters and you're not ready to block it, your fucking Lucio will be like, "Oh, Reinhardt's fucking throwing it again," and then you're like, "Fuck you, Taz! Don't tell me what to do." Just an example.
Then you're like, but though.
Alright.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Blocks can go in highlights too.
No, they can't. No, they can't. They're stupid. Reinhardt's not interesting. Nobody
What was that
likes
sound
watching
that Fire
block
just
stuff.
made? It sounded like someone just shoved a finger up Fire's ass.
Oh, yeah.
What was that noise?
I'm sorry.
Hey,
Okay, Fire. I
alright.
didn't mean. Okay.
No,
sorry,
you're
Fire,
good.
continue.
That is.
All right.
I'm not gonna go in detail about alt tracking. We could do an entire episode about alt tracking, for Christ's sake.
Uh-oh.
But just
You know what that means?
All right.
oh, but
Are we on to it?
next,
Ba 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 ba.
topic
Alright.
of the day.
So we're going to be, unless it is going to be deleted as soon as my tenure on this particular episode is over, we're going to be doing an Overwatch League
possible.
Pick'em competition
Oh boy.
for Stage 2. The entirety of Stage 2.
Oh boy.
Each week, whoever turns in the best Pick'em, you have to turn them in to me. You have to turn them in beforehand. You have to pick the winner for each game in that weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Whoever has the best record at the end of each week will be receiving $25 in a Venmo from Tazaruni. All right?
Oh
Let's do this.
baby.
Let's do this.
Let's feel
So-
this. All right.
From Fire
yeah.
and from Spiral.
Oh boy.
And then you all can get these to me at any time before the game starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday.
All right.
Cool.
Viral.
Viral? Whoa.
Or at each other. All right.
Ship us.
That's
We're
our
gonna do.
fusion
Skip it.
person.
All right. We're gonna do. We're gonna do Fire, Fusion, or Excelsior.
New York.
New York. All right. Uprising or the Atlanta Rain.
Rain.
The Defranless Rain. Dragons or Gladiators.
I'm gonna be optimistic. Dragons.
Dragons.
I'm gonna be optimistic
Charge
about it.
and I actually think that might be a good pick though. Charge and Eternal.
Oh. I'm gonna go charge.
Yeah, this one's tricky because no one's ever seen Guangzhou play.
Yeah.
Spiral, Fusion
Yo.
or Excelsior?
Fusions.
Fusion,
Yeah.
Uprising or Rain?
Uprising.
All right. Dragons or Gladiators?
Dragons.
I'm actually a follower on the Uprising pick there.
Really? Alright.
Charge and Eternal.
Charge.
All right. I am going to pick.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to pick the Fusion. To hand the Excel their first regular season loss, I am going to pick the
Yeah.
Uprising over the Reign.
Woo!
I do think the Reign are going to be significantly better than everyone thinks they are, just because Defran's gone.
No,
I think he
yeah.
really has. I think he really has.
You think
They
he
really
made
have
the
some
difference
upside.
between the
They just got
W's and the
Baby Bay.
L's?
Baby Bay's the replacement, I think.
I think that the Dragons are going to show out on the first official non-Ghost required stage. I think they're going to beat the Gladiators. And I'm actually going to take the Eternal. I'm going to take that DPS lineup over the Charge.
Ooh,
right.
okay.
Let's see. We're going to do all three of us at the same time this time. Try to make this go a little faster. We got the
Cool.
Spitfire and the Mayhem. Fire, who you got?
Spitfire. Yeah, duh.
Yeah, sorry, Mayhem.
Spiral?
Spitfire.
You think Spitfire?
Yeah, of
I am
course,
going to,
Spitfire.
I'm going to go against the grain a little bit.
Really?
Oh, you're
I
starting
think
to sound
Gotta
like
go
me.
with Florida.
I think Florida could actually do something if they actually get the chance to show off their DPS lineup, which now they kind of have an excuse to. The next one should be the same for us all across the board: the Justice versus the Defiant.
Defiant.
Obviously, Justice.
All right, Spiral, I'm putting you in for that, and I'm saving the document right now.
Yes.
I'm gonna take the
fuck
Defiant.
you, Justice. We got this. Let's go,
I'm gonna
boys.
take the Defiant. I haven't seen the Arc infused Justice yet, but we'll see how that goes.
Hmm.
We got the Valiant and the Shock.
I feel like that'll be all right. I'm gonna still go with Shock though.
Yeah, I was gonna say Shock too. Yeah.
Shock. I think the Valiant are going to be very good this season or this stage, but I think that right now they have gotten the toughest draw of any other team in the entire Overwatch League, and I think the Shock is going to be no easier. So I'm going to go with the Shock here. This is the one I think is going to be the game of the weekend: Gladiators and the Dynasty.
Are you pulling for your boys, the
I
Gladiators,
didn't even
Daz?
change mine.
I'm rooting for the Gladiators. I'm not sure if they're going to get it done, but I'm rooting for them.
You know what? Put me down for them too. I like the underdogs here.
Oh Lord.
Can we
What do
say
you think,
they're
Fire?
the underdogs? Yeah.
They are, or they should be. What do you think, Fire?
Which one are we on? Sorry,
Gladiators and Dynasty.
God damn.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Gladiators. I want to see them.
I think the Gladiators kind of have something figured out, and they finally get the chance to flex a little bit, and they've. I don't know. I got to root for them.
They had a rough stage.
Let's see. Oh, they started turning around a little bit at the end of the stage too. I think they ended on they had two of their three last matches were all wins, but that was when they finally got their roster kind of finalized. So
yeah.
It looks like they at least are feeling comfortable with themselves now. All right, Mayhem Fusion. What do you think, Fire?
Oh God. Fusion.
Fusion, of course. You gonna vote for Mayhem, Taz?
Not here.
Okay.
Better not.
I don't think they're gonna win that one. Now we got the Defiant and the Uprising. Fire.
I want to say Defiant.
I'm riding this Uprising train.
I just don't have I love Uprising, but I just don't have much faith in them.
I think that this is going to be a rarely good stage for the Uprising. They always have pretty standard stages, like right in the middle of the pack stages. But I think that they're actually going to be one of the teams that still refuses to switch off goats for this season. And I think other teams might not have it figured out quite enough to know that goats is still viable in a lot of situations, including two of the map types that are required to be in a match. So I think the Defiant are going to be surprisingly good this stage just because of their refusal to swap off goats.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And I might be completely wrong. It has happened many times before, and it has cost me several dollars.
We won't go into that though.
All right, the Excelsior or the Dragons?
Dragons.
I want to ride the Dragons train.
Hold on. Can I just say, if the Dragons win that match, I might literally. Well,
Spiral,
I don't think
if the Dragons win that match, I will buy you a dragon skin.
If the
I will buy
Dragons
you a skin.
If the Dragons win that match, I'd like you to buy me Sea of Thieves. How about that one?
That's a $60 purchase because apparently that game has no fucking morals.
It's
All right.
rareware, but okay, go on.
All right, we got the Hunters and we got the Eternal.
Hunter.
I want to see Hunters win this.
Let's go, boys.
I'm gonna take the Eternal again.
Chengdu 222.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Eternal here. I think the Eternal's gonna pull it out. And then the last day, we got 4 more matches left. The Shock and the Charge.
Shock.
Yeah.
I think Shock's gonna dominate that one. Charge tends to play up to their opponents, but not that much. We got the Rain and we got the Spitfire.
Spitfire.
Oh hell no, Rain's got that.
Yeah, you think?
I'm taking the Spitfire as well. I don't
Hell yeah,
think
Well,
brother.
you guys can go fuck off.
The Spitfire
you
had the best.
kidding me?
The Spitfire had the best DPS lineup in the league last year. What makes you think it's going to be any different this year?
Facts, bro.
Well,
Facts,
they
bro.
didn't make it
Let's
to the
go.
finals.
Let's go.
They won. They won.
They won?
No, not this year.
Oh, so
I
that's
know they
because
won
it's not
last
a
year.
DPS meta, though.
Yeah.
Well,
But the
but
DPS meta is
fucking-
coming back.
All right,
They
we
won.
got the Stage 1 champions, the Titans, in the Langzhou Spark.
I want to see the Titans. I want to say Titans. I'm going with Titans, but I really want to see the Spark win.
Of course.
I
But
Everyone loves
my
an underdog
pick is
story.
Titans. My pick
But
is
it's going to be
Titans.
tough to touch the Titans at this point. They look so fucking good.
They do, dude. My pick.
And the last match of the
Ugh.
weekend, we have the Battle for the Basement, the Toilet Bowl,
Oh,
the Justice,
no.
and the Hunters.
the toilet bowl.
I kind of want Hunters.
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 Let's
yeah.
go. I don't think
2-2-2.
Justice is gonna do well
I
all
want to pick
this
the
whole
Justice
year.
just to be a contrarian, but fuck
be
you
real
guys.
here.
I'm going with the Hunters.
Of course you're.
Hell
All
right.
right,
yeah,
so that
brother.
completes our 3 picks. They're all on record now. If we end up winning, I will Venmo myself and cost myself the $75 charge.
Woo!
Oh yeah, dude.
All right.
I'm gonna get Sea of Thieves.
Again, if anyone wants to participate, there's a Discord channel that we have called the OWL Pick'em. If you will just post your list in there so that I and the community can see it to make sure you got it in on time, you will be in the competition.
A link will be
There's
provided.
no entrance charge, and whoever wins gets the full $25. If there are 2 people that win, it splits right down the middle.
Yeah. A link will be provided in the description of this video and the highlight video that will be posted to YouTube.
Correct.
So yeah.
Right. Do we have any community feedback this week? I didn't really
Woo!
have time to check.
No, we don't have about fucking thing because we're great.
Wow. fuck
Baker,
yeah,
if you're
we
reading, if
kill
you're
it.
watching this right now, you should just send me $5,000 and I'll as your entrance fee.
Oh yeah. Fire, dude.
Output still $25 though.
All right. So what happened with game nights last week? Huh?
Well,
Borderlands happened.
shut up. No.
Motherfucker.
That's exactly what happened. Look,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be. I dropped the ball. I was fucking hyped about all this Borderlands talk.
We
I'm
were
playing
so
through all the games now.
high.
I'm. I got nothing to follow that up. I got nothing.
So moving on.
I got nothing
Anyway,
to follow
so
that up. God
What
damn
are
it.
the game nights for this week, and what are we doing this week?
All right, this coming Wednesday, we're going to be having Scrim Night. All who are in the Discord are welcome to join us for a group scrimmage. It's all in-house. Believe you reached out to a couple people, so we might have a few new members joining us. And then this Sunday, we're going to be going back to the Quiplash stream. The first one is a success. That's the word.
I'm looking forward to that.
And,
That's
and
gonna
we're
be
looking to do a couple more. They're a really good time, and we're looking to introduce just a couple more party-related games. Jack's Box has a ton of them, and maybe even Golf for Friends, some shit like that.
Cool.
fun. Ooh, that'd be fun too.
Heck yeah, man.
And that kind of tied into the announcements, I suppose.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think I can. I can come tomorrow night because I have off, but I can't come the rest of the week. I'm closing all weekend. Fuck
We'll
me.
stream
I'm
it. We'll let you tune into it.
Hell yeah.
That being said, actually, quick side announcement. I think I may have already mentioned it, but the streams for this podcast will be shared on Twitch, and then we will be doing a condensed version of just the highlights, some of our favorite parts of the stream, and then we'll be posting that on the Orange Beanie Guy YouTube channel, which you can find in the Discord, or we will also provide a link in this video. All right, that's the last announcement.
One last, I don't know, fun thing. The Watchpoint Radio podcast has been looking for other Discords that do game nights, so I reached out to the owner of the Watchpoint Radio podcast, and we might get a little spot on there. You might see a bunch of really cool new guys coming into the Discord. They're
New people.
lots of new people. Lots of new people.
Man,
They're
they
all
should
really
not switch,
fun.
you
They're all
fucking loon.
they're all really fun people. They're nice. If you want to go over and check out their Discord, they also have one. It's the same people. They're fantastic guys. always, if you're looking for people to play with or climb with, they're super chill. So yeah, they also have a podcast.
Hootie.
You can check them out. But
Hootie fucking
yeah,
toot.
so might be sharing some game nights with a few other podcasts and discords. I might try and get in contact with all the other ones because they all announce each other's game nights because it's a very big thing for the community. They love the game nights. So I might reach out to a few of them and see if we can't all work some fun night out or something.
Hell yeah, let's
But-
get it going.
Yeah.
If they need a communal penis measurement, I'll exclude myself.
Don't want to be thrown off that average, am I right, Taz?
I don't
Yeah,
know, but
it'll be bumping a little on the low scale, and they may respect us less because of that. So I'll make sure to back us up. I got you guys.
hell yeah. So, Taz, do you want to tell everybody where they can find you?
Measure with the centimeter side; it'll give you a bigger number.
The centimeters.
You can find me, aka Spiral, aka Orange Beanie Guy, the maker of this Discord channel, in our Discord channel. The link will be provided in the description, or you can find me at YouTube or Tumblr at Orange Beanie Guy.
And I am Fire. You can find me on twitch.tv and Instagram at RefireOFC. And Twitter and YouTube are just Refire. Yeah, I don't use much other social. So Taz,
No
where can we
Tumblr?
find you, man?
Dude, it looks like my lava lamp's flipping me off, so I'm gonna send you a picture of that. I'm nowhere. Don't worry about following me anywhere. Don't really do anything.
I
So,
kind of want to follow you home.
that's kind of creepy.
Should be.
And with that, we'll end this podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be posting the highlights soon. Taz, thank you for joining us. You're not Priesty. Get out of my podcast. I
We
can't
miss you,
believe
Priesty.
I brought you
See
on
you
here.
guys.
I love
You
you,
cannot
Priesty.
Take
replace
care.